Welcome back. Please feel free to interact with us on our social media platforms, as well as on the numbers below the screen. So as we went for a break, we are looking at how we are going to get people as business people. But now we want to look at it. How do I do it right? Because I may know how to do it. I may know I can go to the social media. I can go to networks. But still, I don't get the right people. So I want to get that procedure as a business person. How do I do it right? Yes, Tabitha.
Thank you. The first thing is you need to be very clear on the role, on the job role. You need to define what is this person coming in to do.
Yes.
What are their qualifications? So that need to be the first step that you need to be very clear on. Once you are very clear on, then you have put the job out there. You have attracted so many applicants. So then you sieve them using your job profile. You sieve them to at least the minimum you can get. See a number of people.
Yes.
For depending on the position. Yeah.
Wow. But look at it this way. I put it on the social media. I get so many applications. I'm a new business person. I don't have money to pay a HR person to do it for me. If I just pick some few and ignore the rest, am I safe?
Interesting. Yeah. But when you are picking the very few, you need to be sure that the very few meet the minimum qualifications for the job. At least they should meet the minimum.
Yes.
And you should be open-minded when you are looking at these people. Is it their experience where they have worked? Is it the level of their education? Yeah. Is it what other advantages they have in terms of what other extra courses do they have? What kind of business? Where is their experience drawn from? These are the things that you look out for when you are shortlisting. Because at this point, remember, you have not met the person.
I've not met the person.
You only have their application versus your job profile.
And some of those applications are very well done.
Yes. And you need to know.
Oh, yes.
And we need to know that some are also done by other people. They have outsource some other people to do them for them. So at this point, you are just looking at whether the person has met your expectation. Yeah.
Thank you, Anthony.
You know, nowadays, when you put out an application out there, you will, from my experience, you will find hundreds and hundreds of people putting in. Yeah. Truth is that you are not many times able to see all of them, or rather to invite all of them for an interview.
Yeah.
So I like what Tabitha is saying. From what you have, get the minimum.
Yeah.
Get a number that you think you're able to manage with your team to see them. But they need to have the minimum qualification. And that's why when you're defining your role, it has to be very, very clear. And the qualification.
Yes.
So here you are, you have 50 people.
Nataka mtu mmoja.
You want one person.
Yes.
And you need to see all the 50 people. I think now this is where, and they have the minimum qualifications.
Yeah.
They have the right diploma or degree or certificate that you want.
Yes.
In terms of the duration, work experience, they have the time you want.
Yes.
And there are the details.
Yes.
So now this is where other things come into play.
Yeah.
And I think for you HR practitioners, this works very well.
Yes.
From my experience, having sat in rooms where we are doing interviews and talking to these people and getting to know, where they're coming from,
Yes.
what they're looking for specifically here, certain things keep coming.
Yes.
And I think that's the conversation. You get to see what is their attitude like, and I'm sure you can see that in a conversation.
Yes, you can.
That you have. In terms of the technical skill and experience, you're able to test. You have worked for 3 years. What have you been able to achieve within those 2 years? What skill do you have? What technical skill do you have? And from those from the panelists, I think, again, from the HR point of view, it's very important to have the different people who come in to look at the different specific things.
You're right.
Right in there. So I guess now that process of recruiting is the most important
It is.
process
It is.
that now defines who you get
Yes.
and who else you sieve out
You're right.
in the process. Yeah.
Yes, because if you have the wrong people, you lose it. So you have to ensure that you have the right people from the beginning. And sometimes we find people making mistakes because they'll go and look at Anthony, what Anthony has, instead of looking at what the job requires. So employers should focus, as you all agree, that we have, this job requires this, these are the skills required, this is the experience required. And then when you look at that, look at the person that fits that. Don't first look at someone and say, this one I'll just pick and plug, and this person, because I know them, it's a reference, I'll just pick. But you can make a very, very big mistake if you're not careful about that.
Right.
So we are going to be very keen as employers to ensure that this is well done from the beginning and avoid mistakes. There are mistakes that we can cost us as employers. For example, if you give someone a job and they don't fit it, then they do it. It's expensive. Hiring itself is a process, very expensive. You bring in on board someone who cannot even deliver because maybe you just wanted to do it your way or because you knew the person. That is a big mistake. Because this person will come after a few days or a few months, if nothing is happening, you're back to zero, looking for another person. So it's very expensive for you as a business. So some of the mistakes that we may need to avoid, Tabitha, as employers.
One of the things that we need to be clear up on is avoid hiring people who are too qualified for the job.
Too qualified. What do you mean?
Overqualified.
Overqualified.
Yes.
Overqualified for the job. So if you find that you're looking for somebody who has 2 years experience,
Yes.
and you find somebody who has 10 years experience, and you feel that you are better off because they have 10 years of experience.
Yes.
Eventually they settle in the job, but they will not rust because they will feel they are underutilized.
You're right.
They tend to get bored very fast. So that is one of the pitfalls where I've seen you could go wrong.
Yes.
The second one is you need to look out. Remember what I said, that as a business, you need to be clear what you want to achieve, what needs you're meeting. Then you need to look for somebody who has the passion, somebody who has the right attitude. If you find that somebody is not interested, has not done that, they are not interested in that detail, then they may have the papers, but if they don't have the passion, if they don't have the energy for the job, they will also not trust. They will come in and find out this is not what I was cut out for.
Yes.
So you need to be clear what is their passion. What is their passion? Ask the person what are their interests. What do they want to achieve in 5 years? What mistakes have they done in life and what have they learned from them? When somebody is answering all these questions, back in your mind, you have a checklist where you're checking against, will this person fit in this business? For instance, I've seen in jobs where somebody is supposed to be working on Sunday, and this person is not available on Sunday. Then already there is a mismatch.
Yeah.
There are some of us who will also attend church on Saturday.
Yes.
And this job is where you are required to be Saturday to work full time. There is already a mismatch. That is what I'm talking about. What are their interests? What are their hobbies? What do they do when they are out of work? What is their passion? Then you will be able to find the right. Make sure their passions, their interests are in sync with what your business is offering. I think, let me first highlight those two.
Yes, Anthony?
There is one, I think, pitfall, like Tabitha has said. Sometimes we use the recruiting process to sanitize a lot of things.
Yes.
So you already have someone in mind, but then as an employer you say, you know what, let me, because the board requires
Yes.
that we have to run the process. You say, let me run the process, but ideally I know who I want. And it happens a lot.
It happens. It happens.
I feel sometimes you already have a prejudice.
Yes.
It could be right or wrong, but you take the others through the process, which is also unfair.
That is true. Yeah, you're wasting their time.
You're wasting their time.
Energy.
Someone has hope, someone's hope really,
Yes.
rises, but clearly they are not supposed to be there, or you don't have any intention of bringing them there. So that's a pitfall that I think I like this guy. Probably he was on internship here. So because we have a role that we've created a role, let's just pull him in, but let's do the process.
That's true.
I'm sitting on this other side. I don't think it's the right thing to do. Yeah, so that would be one of the other pitfalls. And when you are in an interview room, sometimes people are very different. There are people who are masters of articulation.
Yeah.
And they know how to speak so well.
Yes.
They know how to convince you. So if you give them an opportunity, the same way you give a con man an opportunity,
Yes.
they will con you.
They will.
So as an employer, when you're doing the interviews, it's very important. As much as you meet someone who's very articulate,
Yes.
and knows how to speak and knows how to package themselves and brand themselves,
Yes.
you always need to go back to the original qualifications and roles you created and understand, yes, they are good in this, but do they have the years of experience? Is their technical skill what you want?
Yes.
So that you don't get someone who speaks well. They can be a brand ambassador, but they can't work.
They can't work. You're right. As we get to a close.
Yeah.
Maybe I think of sometimes when you're starting a business, if you're not very clear, you can overhire or have very few people that are overworked, you see, as an employer. So it's very good for you to ensure also you don't have people that are going to be overworked or underworked. I remember Moses in the Bible until the father-in-law had to intervene because he was really working the whole day. People are queuing, waiting to listen, to be judged to. So as we close, Tabitha, what is your final word? In a brief way.
Thank you. It's hire right, and the business will flourish.
Beautiful.
That is what I would say is my final remark. Hire
Yes.
right, and the business will flourish.
Thank you. Anthony?
I think you have to describe the person you want very, very well.
Yes.
And very detailed. And go to the detail of ticking every box. Don't assume
Yes.
any of the boxes because that might be the core of their job. Yet when you miss it out,
Yes.
you have missed a lot of the things, and they will not be as productive as they should be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Make sure you know what you want as an employer. Make sure you write it down. Get to understand your idea very clearly. Get the right people. Use the right channel. Don't just see the face and pick the person. Ask yourself, will this person meet the needs of my business? And the moment you do that, then you never go wrong. It has been Empower. Thank you so much for joining us. May the Lord bless you. See you next week. My name is Beatrice Chuchu.